Hello and welcome to Gradient's weekly roundup of key business and financial developments in Sri Lanka for the week ending 26th August 2022. I'm Nishani Pigera and here are the top stories for this week. IMF team back in the country, staff level agreement likely by next week. Bridge financing for essential imports not required as forex pressure eases, says central bank. Fuel consumption down by 2.8 million litres. Record high paddy cultivation in Yala season. We will also briefly look at other notable news that made it across to our news desk and wrap up with the capital markets update. In our main story this week, on Wednesday, a team from the IMF arrived in Sri Lanka. The team will be in the country until the 31st of August and is to continue discussions on economic and financial reforms and policies. The objective is to make progress towards a staff-level agreement on an extended fund facility in the near term. There is wide anticipation that the staff-level agreement will be in place by next week. This allows Sri Lanka to discuss a debt sustainability plan with private creditors and bilateral parties. On Monday, Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, speaking to Bloomberg, said that the foreign exchange crisis in the country is easing. He noted that a requirement for bridge financing to import essential items no longer exists, as such purchases are now being met with high exports and curtailed imports. He also said, going forward, the foreign exchange situation will be managed much better, benefiting from a stabilizing currency, more foreign trade in the banking sector, and the central bank building up reserves. According to the Power and Energy Minister, fuel consumption fell by 2.8 million litres in August with the introduction of the QR code system. This is despite an increase in the number of registered QR code users. Further easing supply pressure, the minister stated that a super diesel cargo was to be unloaded on Tuesday and that a second crude oil cargo, a 92-octane petrol shipment and 2 auto diesel shipments were to arrive this week. According to Mahinda Amaraveera, Minister of Agriculture, 512,000 hectares of paddy have been sown this year's Yala season. Original expectation for the season was 275,000 hectares. However, rising rice prices and a food shortage scare resulted in a larger land extent being sown. While a bumper harvest is likely, farmers warn that the chemical fertilizer ban may lower yields by 30 to 40%. The minister also stated that rice imports initially set for September will now be pushed to December. In other news, according to the SLTDA, August tourist arrivals to the 23rd were 31,105,000, bringing the full year figure to 489,775. However, week-by-week arrivals compared to July were lower. Meanwhile, the lifting of the state of emergency is enabling tour operators to promote Sri Lanka as a tourist destination again. The price of a litre of kerosene rose by 87 rupees, bringing the price up to 340 rupees a litre. Kanchana Wijesekara, Minister of Power and Energy, stated that the government had proposed a direct cash subsidy to low-income families, fisheries and plantation sector that depend on kerosene. And now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the all-share price index and the S&P SL20 index at the Colombo Stock Exchange. At the Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on autumn maturities expanded. Of the 109 billion rupees worth of bids, 56.7 billion rupees were accepted. And here's how the rupee performed against the dollar this week. In other market news, Brown's Fabric received BOI approval to construct a $52.3 million weft knit fabric production facility in Kurunegala. The facility is slated to commence operations in August 2023. And that's a wrap for this week. Follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube for more updates on business and financial developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.